Bitcoin is making a run at its all-time high, and you know what that means. The party keeps going. So today, if you're looking at some of your altcoins thinking, what the heck just happened? I'm gonna tell you exactly how this story plays out and how I'm strategizing to max out gains for the next few days and weeks during this market movement. If you guys are excited for this, go ahead, destroy that like button, because today we're talking about Bitcoin resuming its path to $100,000 and beyond. You guys are definitely going to wanna watch this one front to back. And as always, we're gonna have some very important altcoin news helping you get ahead and stay ahead of the market. And of course, if you love crypto and you love those gains, then make sure you subscribe, because we're giving you the absolute best information in the industry at the earliest possible stage, and it's totally free. All you have to do is hit that red button and make sure you press that little bell notification, and that way you're made aware whenever I put out content. Sadly, as always, I need to inform you that there are impersonators pretending to be me in the comments. I will never ask you to contact me or send me funds. If that happens, that is a scammer. And of course, just remember not to send strangers money on the internet. With that said, let's dive in. First and foremost, let's take a look at this beauty right here, which is of course the Bitcoin chart. And we told you when we got this Elon Musk pump that popped us out of this descending triangle that we were probably going to bounce off this little support line as support. And obviously it wasn't perfect, but you can see we pretty much played off of this support line here. I'll make it a little thicker so you can see it. You can see here how the price kind of wicked down and bounced off of this until it found its support and ran up. And this is just really basic technical analysis. Again, you don't have to be a genius to do some basic TA in a bull run. But here you can see we've made a nice little breakout of this descending triangle, and we're now trying again to reach our all-time high. And if we do end up breaking through this all-time high, then this will once again be a consolidation, much like every other consolidation during bullish movements of the market. And you can see here that we had a big consolidation back in June. This one was back actually in November of 2017. We had another big consolidation back in June of 2017. This one was a 44% correction. Ours wasn't even that bad. We can see here that actually this one's taking a little bit longer to get through. Maybe this will end up taking, 30, 35 days or so. And it had a correction of about 31%, which percentage-wise is almost completely in line with what we've seen before. However, what we're seeing here is that maybe this cycle is going a little bit slower and that these movements take a little longer to play out. And what that would mean is something insanely good for Bitcoin, which would mean that the longer the cycle takes to play out, the higher the price targets we could potentially achieve are. Of course, it's no surprise also that during these particular moments, a lot of people get shaken in their boots. And that's why we're here, to offer you emotional support. We're mostly therapists here on Crypto YouTube. But the point is that if you get super emotional in your approach to the market, or you buy here at 40K, but then when the price comes down here to 28, you don't buy there, then you're essentially, effectively doing it all wrong. You're buying the tops and you're selling the bottoms. You're getting greedy at the top and you're getting fearful at the bottom. That is exactly what the big money wants you to do. That's called the shakeout. It's called the bullish reaccumulation. This is what separates the sheep from the wolves. But I'm telling you this much, if Bitcoin does break through here and enter into new price discovery territory, like I genuinely believe it's going to, that would mean that Bitcoin season takes over once again. And that would mean, of course, that you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be accumulating these alts that people are running scared from while Bitcoin is stealing the show, because of course, we're going to have yet another even more extreme and exciting alt season in the future. Now, if I do see a top signal, I'll be the first one to tell you. What would a top signal look like? Now, a top signal to me is very easy to spot, because pretty much it shows you the big money is cashing out. A top signal would look like this, where in just the space of a few days, we have a complete 50% correction. Then we get a huge another pop back up. In this case, we went up to about 17K over the coming, 16 days or so. And then we got completely rejected, way short of the all-time high. And you can see here that now this is a clear rejection, and we get lower lows and lower highs all the way down until we're at about $5,000. And this was just, in mid-February, we get a $5,000 Bitcoin. And this happened super quick, right? From December to February. We haven't seen anything like that. And of course, from the top here, we're looking at, from December to February, a full 70% correction, absolutely astronomical correction. This is a good sign that the bull market's over. But even during this time, what we saw was absolute pandemonium in the altcoins. We saw altcoins pumping 10, 100, 1000x gains. And that means to me that the money is leaving Bitcoin and it's going in to, the other coins. And that means that if everything's pumping hundreds of X's, regardless of the quality of the project, that means to me that the money's leaving Bitcoin. Bitcoin simultaneously while Bitcoin's dumping. That means that, in my opinion, people are cashing out of Bitcoin. They think the run's over, the big money is done, and now they're going to pump the lower liquidity alts, take their money off the table, and it's going to be a very rough time after that. But remember, we have here the previous all-time high that we broke on Bitcoin. Remember, we only broke our previous all-time high about 45 days ago, when the prior bull run was about 300 days after the firm break of the previous all-time high. That means that we would be about 1/7 the size of the bull run as far as time is concerned. And look, what we're seeing here is that this consolidation, if we do break onward and upward, is looking like it's taking about twice as long as prior consolidations in bull runs. And so to me, this is a really interesting moment where if Bitcoin starts breaking out from here, we're seeing that actually this cycle is a longer cycle. And it would make sense because there's a general consideration that the longer the bear market, the longer the bull market. Now, in this particular case, we just came off of the absolute longest bear market in the history of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, meaning that we should be looking at the longest bull market in the history of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So if we do break onward and upward here, and it takes about 30 days versus, 16 days or so in the prior bull cycle, that would mean that our cycles are getting longer. And that would mean, in my opinion, that gives us a much better chance to achieve higher price targets. And so these shakeouts are really amazing opportunities for the market to reset, for altcoins to move and catch up to Bitcoin, for essentially the market and the floor to be lifted. It also gives a chance for the emotional nature of the market to reset. If everyone's 100% sure that the market's going up 100% of the time, then we enter into euphoria phase, and unfortunately, that could mean the end all too soon. So what we see here is that this is actually an incredibly healthy and constructive thing for the market, especially if we're able to overcome this. And if we are, that means that we're pointed upwards to 50K, 75K, 100K, and beyond. I personally believe that the path to a $500,000 Bitcoin is much closer than everyone thinks. And in the process, I'm going to be accumulating and riding the most important altcoins in the entire space. And of course, that means the absolutely disruptive DeFi, NFT, and other interesting trending narratives that we have here. So I think that this is absolutely phenomenal what's going on right now with Bitcoin, and it shows a ton of strength. And looking at total cryptocurrency market caps too, we see that we've reached an entirely new high at $1.225 trillion. That is absolutely astronomically high. You can see that we had topped out here at like 1.11, and now we're at 1.22. So we've made a nice gain here of like $100 billion over our previous high. And you can see we had a little bit of a rounded bottom here, and now we're breaking out. All to me, the charts are screaming bullish. Now, of course, I could be wrong, and that's why we always take profits when things make incredible gains, and we always prepare for things that we don't know are going to happen. But as far as the sentiment and my analysis of the market, I see it as extremely constructive and exciting that the market played out this way, that we got a reset on greed, that total market caps are skyrocketing. We got ourselves a little mini alt season where these alts started absolutely going parabolic. People forgot about Bitcoin for a few days, and that's exactly how it goes, is when you get these huge pops, if you distribute into Bitcoin, then when Bitcoin runs again, you also get the benefit of Bitcoin season. I try to explain to you guys the way that this can happen, but to me, it's just a very, very promising thing to see Bitcoin pointed up, Ethereum's breakout, altcoins rally, and then Bitcoin take over again. It means that there's more gas in the tank, in my humble opinion, and that is a very, very good thing for crypto. And now remember, as I told you, that L2 DEXs and alternative swaps in lower gas environments were going to start catching on. Well, Pancake Swap, which we've talked about a few times here, which is essentially the sushi swap of Binance, is really starting to explode. And that's because it's extremely low gas fees over there. And you can trade some, not completely amazing tokens, but the BEP20 tokens are actually not too bad compared to the other ecosystems like Tron and EOS. And of course, Polkadot isn't live yet, and Cardano isn't live yet either. And so we have Pancake Swap as kind of like the next most legitimate place to trade, semi-decent coins. And you have things like Prosper over there, things like Rune. There are coins that are worth trading over there. And so you see these volumes on Pancake Swap taking off. And meanwhile, you also see for the first time in a long time, Binance really exploding as well. Now at $70, making some nice geometric growth here. This is the highest Binance has ever been, or I guess its all-time high was a little bit higher than this, up here at like $75. But this is amazing. And you're seeing now the power of where this DeFi ecosystem shifts to and how the underlying protocols can benefit tremendously from the traffic. So that means that what's going on Polkadot, what's going on L2 DEXs, the ZK rollup engines, the alternative swap mechanisms are going to be extremely fertile ground for gains while we're waiting for Ethereum to sort out some scaling stuff. And I do believe that Ethereum gets brought along with all of this. However, it's important to realize what's going on. And we've been talking about this trend now for weeks and months. And this is the kind of stuff where if you get ahead of it, you can actually make some amazing amazing gains. Pancake, Cake token doing absolutely amazing. So as Bitcoin takes over once again, it'll give you an opportunity to, one, know that the market's going to continue on its bullish trajectory, but two, you'll have some time to breathe and maybe the alts will get a little less absolutely ridiculously competitive. It'll give you a chance to maybe get into some projects that you've been turning your back on, that haven't been getting the limelight, that maybe have a nice dip in price. That's your opportunity. When the world looks away is when you want to look at the project. You don't want to get into things that are triple digits up. You want to get into things that have been on a huge dip, things that have potential, that are maybe rolling out big updates. You want to have your ear to the ground. You want to have your eyes looking around the next corner. That's how you get ahead of crypto. You don't want to be chasing after what's hot right now. You want to look into the future. And on that note, there is one trend that is coming up in DeFi that I believe is going to become a dominant trend, not just for the coming weeks, but for the coming years. And while I'm not ready to fully spill my research on this trend yet, I believe that this will be one of my most important contributions as content to you guys. There's an entirely new sector of DeFi emerging, and I believe it may be the missing link to unlock not only billions, but trillions of dollars in total value locked into the DeFi ecosystem. And there are many projects that could come to occupy tens or hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap if they are successful at captivating this market. If you guys are excited to see how Bitcoin cycles are getting longer and that this particular correction might be the most constructive and encouraging that we've seen in a bull market, as well as you want to get ahead of the absolute best trends in DeFi and crypto land, then do me a favor, give me a thumbs up on this video. And of course, make sure you subscribe and put that bell notification on, because we're going to be bringing you the hottest, newest trends in crypto land before they are hot, before they are trending. And it gives you a chance to get ahead and stay ahead of this market and get into coins that could become the future behemoths, the blue chips, the DeFi primitives that govern the future of finance. Make sure you subscribe and put that bell on. You're not going to want to miss some of the content we have coming up. As well, we're also looking for a video editor here on the channel. As my multiple projects have started to mature, my ability to actually edit my own videos has kind of disappeared. So we're going to be looking to bring on an absolutely fantastic video editor. If you guys know what it takes to make the absolute best edits in the game, and you know how to make titles and thumbnails, we want a YouTube genius here, then do me a favor, please DM me on Telegram at Elio Trades. Send me a reel of some of the edits that you've made. I'm going to give you a chance to show me whether you got what it takes to be my editor. As usual, my name's Elio Trades. You can follow me on Telegram or Twitter. The links for both of those are in the description. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.